The following is a presentation of 4-Star Sports Media. Welcome to the Germantown Village Wine and Liquor Studios. Germantown Village Wine and Liquor. They have single barrel whiskeys you can only find in their store. Go by and see Stephen Plunk and tell him 4-Star sent you. Now, it's time to get to the point with your hosts, Wes Pruitt and Brandon Bumgarner.
In my city that I can't.
Hello, Memphis fans, and welcome back to The Point. It's Tuesday, January 25th, 2022, and we thank you all right now watching on 4-Star Sports Media, Facebook, YouTube, on The Point Podcast Facebook page, and also at 4star.live. We are live right now on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network. I got Will Bass back in the house. I got Brandon Bumgarner in the house. Fellas, how are we doing?
Doing well, man. How about you?
I'm making it.
Man, I tell you what, I am about as excited as I am for Christmas. We've got a very exciting week next week for 4-Star Sports Media, being down in Mobile, Alabama for the Reese's Senior Bowl 2022. The journey to get here in a very short period of time has been, it's been a literal dream come true. I've written a series of articles at 4star.live on my personal journey to the Senior Bowl. But as I said in the article that I posted last night, fellas, I wouldn't be able to do it without you as cohorts, co-hosts, friends, brothers, whatever you want to call it. Thank you very much. Personally from me, but also thank you to all of our fans for all the support that you've given us thus far. And be on the lookout, guys. Next week, we got a lineup's going to come out this weekend. We've got some names that I think you're going to be very excited about, and probably going to add some more while we're down there as well. Brandon, when it comes to the Reese's Senior Bowl, man, what are you most excited about?
I'm excited about just getting down there and seeing all the talent on the field. Honestly, seeing guys like from the school I cheer for, Memphis, Calvin Austin, Dylan Parham, playing in the game, making a name for themselves. I believe this is I want to say it's the third Senior Bowl in a row that Memphis has had somebody represented. I believe dating back to Tony Pollard, then Riley Patterson. Now you have Calvin and Dylan. It's nice. I mean, D'Angelo Williams played in the Senior Bowl back in 2006 when the date would have been. But excited to see all the great talent down there, meet some new people, hopefully connect with some people, be able to have them on our shows and go from there, grow the brand, man. That's what this is all about. We're growing ourselves. We're getting this thing bigger. And we're hoping to bring you better content as our fans, to what you want to hear and who you want to hear from. I believe you're on mute, Mr. Pruitt.
Will, thank you, Brandon. Will, when it comes to the Senior Bowl, man, I'm sure you've been just like me, been watching it what feels like our entire lives now. But tell me what you look forward to when you look at the Senior Bowl every year.
Man, I mean, you're getting a chance to see the top prospects, firsthand, and go out there, do a little competing, just see what everybody's able to put out there. And just everybody gets a chance to showcase themselves. So, I mean, you guys are going to have an opportunity to see that firsthand, which is going to be awesome. I can't imagine, how exciting that's going to be when you actually get down there and get to doing what you got to do. But yeah, it's just one of those things, you just, like I said, you get to see a little bit of everybody all across the country, just see who the best of the best are, and maybe where they're going to shake out in the draft, see who's going to make a name for themselves, and maybe stand out a little bit, come out of the, kind of come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. Thank you to all of our sponsors as well. Right now, you're inside the Germantown Village Wine and Liquor Studio, 7730 Poplar Avenue. Go by and see them. They've got some single barrel whiskeys you can only get in their store in Memphis. And I know there's a lot of liquor stores in the city of Memphis, but go by and see Stephen Plunk in Germantown Village Wine and Liquor, or give him a call, 901-737-3174. We thank you to all of our sponsors brand wide, from BA Mass to Rick Haygood and Sidecar Company and all of their incredible restaurants that's in that group. They have been absolutely incredible for us. When you look at Sidecar Cafe, man, there is not a better environment to watch any type of sporting event. If it's MMA, wrestling, you name it, they'll probably put it on the biggest TV wall in the city of Memphis.
Speaking of Sidecar Cafe,
Super Bowl Sunday.
No. Big game Sunday.
I'm sorry. Big game Sunday. They've got a deal going right now. Reach out to Rick Haygood on Facebook. Reach out to Sidecar Cafe on Facebook and Twitter, I believe. But go by, get a reservation. They've got a meat platter that looks scrumptious. I mean, just everything about this restaurant is great. Go by and see them. Sidecar Cafe right there on Witten Road, right next to the Bumpus Harley Davidson. You can't miss them. Primo location for primo food and primo service. They are incredible over there at Sidecar. Guys, let's talk about something else that's pretty incredible, and that is the Memphis Grizzlies. Brandon, I'll start with you, man. How long do you think it'll be before Ja Morant gets his MVP?
Well, this year it's a possibility. Is it likely? I wouldn't say so, but you know what? We're still gonna push for it because that dude's putting up better numbers than D Rose did when D Rose won the MVP.
Yeah.
So let's get him in the All-Star game first. Make him an All-Star starter. Get everybody acclimated with him so everybody knows his name. I think everybody's starting to already learn his name.
How would you not already know his name?
Well, people are still calling him Jay Morant and stuff like that. Just learn how to say Ja. It's exactly how it's spelled. Ja Morant. The guy's unbelievable, man. Get him in the All-Star game. Get him in All-Star weekend. Let him start the game. Go from there. And hell, if the Grizzlies keep winning, maybe they find themselves in that 2 spot instead of the 3 spot that they're in right now for the Western Conference playoffs. And then you can really make that that MVP push.
Yeah, most definitely. Will, right now the Grizzlies are sitting at 32-17 on the season. They've lost 2 out of their last 3. Lost to the Bucks 126-114 last Wednesday. Last Friday, Grizzlies got a win 122-118 over Denver, and then took one on the chin to the Dallas Mavericks 104-91 on Sunday. When you look at this Grizzlies team, Brandon just talked about it. They're really pushing for that 2 seed. I tell you what, man, if the Grizzlies can get that 2 seed, I mean, nobody wants to play them right now anyway. But if they can get that 2 seed, that's a nice spot for the Grizzlies to be going into the playoffs.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, just looking at it this year, I think they've already exceeded expectations to this point, as far as what people were expecting them to do, what they expected their record to probably be to now. I mean, they're definitely overachieving. This little stretch they've been on, on the road right now, they're 1 out of the last 3, which I think we probably expected that. They've still been fighting some injuries. But I mean, as long as this team can really stay healthy and come down the stretch healthy, I mean, I think they could definitely be a 2 or a 3 seed going into the, going into the playoffs, which, I mean, you can't really argue with that. You know, you look at this team and how strong they are, how well they play together, and how well they play defense. I mean, that's what's going to get you somewhere in the playoffs. So, I mean, yeah. And I think, honestly, you were asking initially when John might see, you know, when we might see him get his first MVP. You know, that could happen as soon as this year, depending on where they end up going, you know, as far as playoffs, how far they go. Because I definitely think they'll be there. But, you know, if it's not this year, I definitely think within the next 2 years, as long as they're able to kind of keep some of the same core guys that they've got right now in place and maybe even pull in a few people, you know, through trades, whatever. If they're able to keep Ja, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson, keep them healthy and keep them out there, maybe keep Dylan Brooks around. I mean, I don't see how this team won't stay competitive. You're going to see some of these other teams that are in the West start to age out a little bit. So I mean, they're only going to go higher. That's the only thing I can see. And if it ain't this year, it'll be one of the next 2 years for sure. And you hear about it. I mean, I don't know if you guys listen to any ESPN radio or anything like that, but here locally in the mornings, on the way into work, you got Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max talking about them. I mean, anytime they cover in the NBA, they're always talking about John Morant, Desmond Bain, all these guys, and just how surprising they've been. So, I mean, they're becoming well known very quickly. And I mean, I think a lot of it is they, as much as you know, people may not realize it or may not look at them as such, at least here, I think they're kind of you know, getting that bad guy. You know, that heel mentality going, because I mean, they just don't care. They talk trash to everybody. They talk trash to LeBron. I mean, it doesn't matter who they're playing.
We're a wrestling city, man. They have to.
I know. Yeah, and it's great because you know, I think everybody's just kind of tired of being disrespected, not being seen, and yeah, it's fun to watch, man. I enjoy them.
Brandon, speaking of being in a wrestling city, the Grizzlies got 2 games at home, 2 games on the road to finish out this month. We go to San Antonio tomorrow night, take on the 17-30 San Antonio Spurs.
Home of Shawn Michaels.
Yes, Michael Higginbotham, a.k.a. Shawn Michaels. Then you go, come home, take on the Utah Jazz. They're sitting at 30-18. That's going to be a good game.
Don't know of any wrestlers in Salt Lake City. Sorry.
Can't think of any from Salt Lake City. Then you come back home and take on the Washington Wizards.
Wow, home Memphis, Tennessee, home of Jerry Lawler.
Yes. And Dustin Starr. Shout out Memphis Championship Wrestling, by the way. Just a quick plug for them. They had a Rumble Battle Royal this past weekend that featured the likes of Jordan Grace, Thunder Rosa. I mean, it's just they're pulling in some names. They've had Marco Stunt in here. Go by and check those guys out. Check them out. MemphisChampionshipWrestling.com. Get some tickets, man. I've heard that is a great event that they put on weekly. Just a quick shout out to Dustin Starr and those guys. But Brandon, when you look at this Grizzlies team, you got 2 games in this stretch. Really just 1 game, in all honesty. But in the NBA, we know no game is a given. I'm looking at the Grizzlies. We come out of this 3-1. We're sitting pretty. I mean, would you say that to end the month?
Yeah, Memphis, Tennessee, place where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson got his start in wrestling, and Ric Flair was born. Also, 2 wrestling greats. Sorry, I'm just stuck on the wrestling thing right now.
I know. Oh, dude, The Undertaker started here. Steve Austin.
Yeah. We could go on and on for days.
Oh gosh. Daniel Bryan. Yeah.
Well, the Royal Rumble's coming up on Saturday, so that's got us all excited, y'all. But Will is just not enthused at all. But no, I really do think they can sustain this. I'm sorry, what was the question?
When you look at the Grizzlies, I'm looking at you get Spurs, Jazz, Wizards, and 76ers. You probably want to close out this month of January 3-1. You would like to go.
Oh yeah, for sure. You 3-1. You would like to be 4-0. If you look at the schedule, it actually favors the Grizzlies the rest of the way, which is pretty good as far as our hopes for the playoffs. Because if the Grizzlies can get healthy and stay healthy, knock on wood, I really think that they could. Dude, call me crazy, but if the Suns start losing games, and the Warriors start losing games, the Grizzlies could make that push for the 1 seed. Now I don't think that's likely at all. I do think the Grizzlies, they've caught fire at the right time. I think that they're going to turn into a machine that nobody wants to mess with come playoff time. I think they already are that machine. I mean, they've beaten, I believe it's the top 6 of the Western Conference all on their home floors. Every single one of them, top to bottom, 1 through 6, except for us at 3. So I guess you could say, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to do math. Math's not my strong suit right now. I haven't been in school in a while, but
You're good, man.
yeah, no. 1 through 6, Grizzlies have beaten them on their home floors, and that favors you in the playoffs. These young kids know how to go into a stadium that's rooting against them and get a win. Pull it out. I mean, you go to a place like Golden State or Phoenix and pull out a win. That says something itself. But yeah, I think 3-1, 4-0 could be more likely.
Yeah, most definitely. Will, when you look at February, just jumping ahead to next month since it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies got a lot of road games to start that month off. You go to New York, to Orlando, to Detroit, to Charlotte, to New Orleans. I mean, there's a lot in there, to Minnesota.
Yeah.
When you look at this Grizzlies team, they play pretty well both sides. I mean, home and away. This Grizzlies team's pretty well versed. You know what I mean? On either at the friendly confines of FedEx Forum or on the road.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I think, like we were saying earlier, I mean, the team's obviously, because of John Morant, becoming pretty well, more well known. I mean, I've got there's a guy on Instagram that started following me because he saw some Italian dish that my wife and I made. He's from Boston, he's Italian, and like he was commenting on something the other day, messaged me. He's like, man, hey, that dish looked great, and he's like, hey, and John Morant's awesome. I mean, this guy's up in Boston, so
Yeah.
He's getting plenty of coverage, and I mean, it's just when you have that, you also can go into unfriendly places and still, you're starting. I mean, you've heard it for actually probably weeks now, but he'll go into other places and you hear chants for MVP. So he's a good one to have on your team for sure. I mean, I'm glad to have him on my team. But
guys, when I knocked on the wood, I scared my father. He he thought somebody knocked on the door.
He's running around clearing rooms.
Yes.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
You got to remember what. But no, I mean, so you look at February. We've got plenty of away games, but the only one. I mean, there's a couple that I might be worried about, but like maybe the Hornets. But I mean, you look at this team. I think they square up against everybody out there pretty well. They just gotta be healthy. But even Brandon was talking about all these games that we won on the road against the top 6 teams in our conference or in the league. We were pretty well undermatched, or not undermatched, but we were shorthanded in several of those games. I mean, we were missing key players in quite a few of those, and we still managed to pull them out. I mean, even this past week, I didn't expect them to win that Nuggets game. In fact, I think I may have bet on the Nuggets in that because they were shorthanded. The Grizzlies were. And I mean, I looked up, and woke up the next day, lost a little change, but I mean, at least it's the Grizzlies winning, so you can't really be too angry. But
very true.
But yeah, man, as long as they stay healthy, that's going to be the big thing. I mean, even if they don't, they still find a way. But if they're healthy going down the stretch, that's just going to mean they're that much more dangerous. So nobody's going to want to look at their schedule and see them coming up.
Most definitely. Patrick Daniel Blake commented with 3 laughy faces the first time and then 8 the second time. Thank you for watching. I don't know what we said to make you laugh that hard.
It was probably the fact that that I knocked on wood and my dad went.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Very true. But thank you very much for watching, Patrick. We appreciate your support as always, man. Another team in the city of Memphis that
Lil
needs to get
Pat is
healthy.
Lil White dubbed him.
Yo, yeah. My bad. Appreciate you, Lil Pat. Another team that needs to get healthy and get healthy quick because we need some more wins is the Memphis Tigers basketball program. Since the last time we spoke, fellas, I'm not going to direct quote it, nor do I want anybody else on the show to direct quote it. I don't want to be kicked off all of our social media platforms.
Come on.
But basically, Penny, I'm sorry, not Kenny, a writer in Memphis, I won't mention his name, asked Penny a question about the team, and Penny, Penny said, "Don't ask me no stupid effing questions," and then said, "Stop disrespecting me, bro." That's just a synopsis. Brandon, my personal opinion is, I'm glad to see some fire out of Penny. I'm glad to see Penny with a little bit of.
We don't have our roster. Y'all know we don't
There
have
it
our
is.
roster. Stop asking me stupid questions about if I feel like I can do something. If I had my roster like they did, then I feel like I can do whatever I want to do. I'm coaching really hard. My boys are playing really hard. I'm not embarrassed about nothing. We have 4 freshmen starting. Y'all need to act like it. Act like we got 17 to 18 and 19-year-olds out here trying to learn how to play against 22, 23, and 24-year-old guys. Come on, man. Stop disrespecting me, bro. Like, don't do that. I worked hard.
Yep, that's your quote from Penny Hardaway.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It's pretty fiery.
Brandon, my personal take on it is I'm glad to see Penny Hardaway with a little fire in his gut. It's something that we haven't seen in the 4 years that he's been here. I don't think that I've seen Penny get too many technicals. I know he hasn't been ejected from a game.
I think he's gotten one technical.
One technical in 4 years. In the 4 years of Penny Hardaway being the head coach at the University of Memphis, he should have gotten way more than one technical. There's no reason for that.
Josh Pastner got technical fouls.
Exactly. And he didn't even cuss or drink Cokes for that matter. But I mean, here's the thing. I'm glad to see Penny with a little fire in his gut. I'm hoping that it'll translate to the basketball team. Maybe the win at Tulsa told me that it did. I don't know. We fought back. But Brandon, when you look at Penny Hardaway, I read an article from a guy today. I'm not going to mention his name because it makes me want to throw up. But he's no longer covering Memphis basketball, so it's okay. But he basically said Penny's lost control of the program. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. What about you?
Trying to think of a good word that rhymes with Mitch. But yeah, I can't say that on here. No. Yeah. But no, I think, is it good to see Penny have that little fire under him? Yeah, it's good. But you know what's not good? He apologized for it. And I know, yes, he is the head coach of the program. He's held to a higher standard than most people. I get that. Don't apologize for that shit, dude. Just say what you said and go with it.
You know who he didn't apologize to?
The person he said it to.
The media in general.
Yeah. He apologized to the fans, which I guess in a sense he didn't apologize. So
Exactly.
that there is that. But no, is it good to see that? Yes, it is. Is it too late to see that? I'm afraid so. I think it's too late for that little fire. Now, I could be completely wrong, and this team could light a fire under their ass, and they could get going. It was the first time we've won at Tulsa since Will Barton was on the team. That was over 10 years ago.
Yep.
I really think that we are trying to turn a corner as my dad's clearing out rooms again.
You got 2 last year?
Yes.
Not 3.
Sorry, my dad's trying to file my income taxes as we speak, and he's asking me questions. Hey, shout out to Mike Donnell for being a part of the show tonight. Wes is about to fall out of his chair. I'm losing my mind, and Will is like, what is happening?
I think Will's frozen. Okay, no, he's not. He's moved.
No,
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Just hanging
Will,
out.
Will looked frozen for a second.
He did.
No,
waiting his turn.
I'm sorry, guys. We were talking about Penny. Yes, I think it's good to see that. There's Patrick again. It was good to see that fire under Penny, and let's hope that like it did spark a light under these guys. I mean, they played so bad in the first half of that Tulsa game, and then the second half they played one of the best halves of basketball they've played all year. The defense showed up in that half. They were shorthanded. You were down, 4 or 5 players, and they started to win. They played winning basketball at the end of that game, which is what you've been wanting to see all year. And I know Tulsa's not a good team, but like I said, it's the first time we've won at Tulsa since Will Barton was on our team. So that's counting for something. It also counts for a win in the win column. We want this Penny Hardaway thing to work. The question is, can it work? I think we're starting to get to the area of no, it can't, but we're not out of it yet. If Penny can get this team healthy, as we stated previously, we can turn this into a special season. You literally have no excuse not to be able to turn it into something special. But, I mean, injuries have plagued you. COVID plagued you. And in Penny's defense, yes, his excuses are, I don't have my full team. I'm playing with 4 freshmen out there. Earl Timberlake's not a freshman, so he's playing with 3 freshmen out there. I'm just going to give you a news flash on that. Penny just claims because he only played 7 games at Miami that he's a freshman. That's not how it works. He played a full college basketball season or was in a program for a full season, so that makes him not freshman. Right. Now, on the other end, for Penny, youth is not exclusive to one school. It's exclusive to every school. And don't act like you don't have a 25-year-old on your team. DeAndre Williams is 25 years old. He's older than most kids that play college basketball. He's old enough to be their grandpa. Figuratively. But it's some of these excuses are valid. So he brought up a COVID excuse. We beat Bama, and then you're going into the Tennessee game thinking, okay, we can get on a roll here, beat another ranked team, and start winning. COVID put a pause on that, and the 2 weeks or week and a half that you were off after that really, really hurt you because you weren't able to practice. Guys did get injured after not being able to practice and everything like that. And side note, I have to give this kid a shout out real quick. I've been so hard on him this year, and I was one of his biggest fans when he got here, and he had been struggling all year. Alex Lomax, the last 2 games, has played good basketball. It hasn't been great. Now, he did have 7 assists with 0 turnovers against Tulsa the other night, which was phenomenal. It's the best basketball I've seen him play all season. But I have to give him a little shout out too, because something about Alo is I think it was a lot of mental game with him, and he had to figure it out. He was hearing a lot of things from the outside. I think he was paying attention to social media. These kids, listen, guys, and for anybody listening right now, these kids hear everything you have to say about them. They're people too, and I know we hold them to a higher standard because they play for our beloved Tigers. But we just can't be, and I'm guilty of it myself, like extremely guilty. You can't just be saying stuff out there to say stuff. And it hurts them, it's not like it's not like they want to go out there and play bad. They just go out there and play bad sometimes. And it's not, yes, it's their fault, but it's also not their fault. Sometimes it's just not there for the day. But yeah, I think Penny can get this turned around. If you can win on Thursday, you basically have a full week to prepare. You don't have a game this weekend, which is nice. These guys get some rest. Maybe you can get some guys back that were injured, and let's get this thing rolling, man.
I completely agree. Will, when you look at the Tigers, they got a game Thursday night at 8 p.m. on ESPN2 against East Carolina. East Carolina is coming in at 11-7. Very, very similar record to Memphis. when you look at this game, Will, the Tigers have got to start defending their home court. In my opinion, we've lost way too many games at home in the Penny Hardaway era. What can we do to continue or start a home winning streak? But also, what can we do to make FedEx Forum an intimidating place to come play?
Well, I mean, that's just going to start with people getting out and going to the games. I mean, I don't know. I haven't made it to one this year just because, I mean, between work or anything else lining up the way it has, I just haven't had an opportunity. So, I mean, those are my excuses. But, I mean, typically, on the TV, it looks hit or miss as to what the crowds are like. I mean, sometimes they sound good. Usually for these bigger games that, line up on the weekends, and you can get some of the longtime fans out there that maybe show up for some of the early games and things like that. It seems like the blower bowl is a little more full and they get a little more raucous, which I think that team needs. I mean, I think any team feeds off their crowd, especially when the crowd's pulling for them. The big things with this team that I see, like you guys were talking about early on, I hope something that Penny said or anything that Penny said in this last press conference, that kind of went a little overboard. Hopefully, with him getting a little bit of fire going himself, maybe that will kind of ignite some of the players a little bit, or at least maybe get everybody to rally a little bit coming down the stretch. And, my only hope is that it's not too little too late because, there just have been a lot of missed opportunities, whether it be because of COVID or just some of those games where it just didn't seem like anything was gelling. I mean, whatever those issues were early on, when it sounded like it was, maybe in the locker room or something internal, whatever, jealousy because of minutes or shots being taken. But hopefully they're at a point now they've kind of gotten past all that. I mean, that's all you can really hope for with what they have ahead of them, which is the rest of the conference schedule. And, maybe they can pull something together coming down the stretch and improve their record. Obviously, with East Carolina coming up, you just lost to them on a last-minute buzzer beater. They're the team just behind you in the standings, although they have a slightly better record, by a single win. So, I mean, we don't need to sleep on them. You can't, like you said, we've got a couple losses this year. I think we're 7-2 at home. But, you've got East Carolina coming into your house Thursday. Then you got a week off. Then you're facing Cincinnati at Cincinnati. I mean, that's not going to be a game. So you definitely got to win this East Carolina game. And I mean, they just have to try and win everything they can moving forward.
You got to win every game the rest of the way.
And you play Houston twice, and they're now in the top 10. I mean, they're ranked 7th. So those are two great opportunities to do something to help your resume. Outside of that, I mean, it's going to be – I really think their chances at an at-large bid are probably gone. But that's not to say that they couldn't go into the tournament, maybe have a little head of steam in the conference tournament, that is, and just get one of those bids from winning the conference championship. Which, I mean, that would be great if they could do that. And I think they're fully capable. I think this team matches up really well against anybody that we're going to face moving forward in our conference. It's just a matter of if they can put it on the court all at the same time and just minimize mistakes and take advantage of opportunities. And that's my take on it.
Will, when you look at a team like East Carolina, you just talked about it. I mean, we just lost to them by a point just 10 short days ago.
Yeah.
Do you think that with us playing them in that close proximity to each other, obviously there's going to be familiarity between the two schools.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Memphis is, you lose by a point. I mean, I know there's no moral victories, but it's just a point loss. Do you think that Penny's going to have this team fired up to avenge that 1-point loss just 10 short days ago?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I could see with that being at home in the Forum, I mean, I could see that being, a blowout in the opposite direction this go around. Because I mean, we should have matched up against that team a lot better than we did, and I believe right now we should be pretty healthy coming into this game. So, I see that being, I see that being the potential for a possible double-digit win in that game.
No, I completely agree. Brandon, when you look at the men's basketball program. You know, Penny's. I mean, let's be honest, Brandon. Penny knows he has to win and win now.
Yeah, like I mean, Penny's not ignorant. He knows what he's doing. He knows. Well, let me rephrase that. He knows what he has to do. I'm not going to say he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows what he has to do, though, and that is win games and that is win big. And I really believe that Tyler Harris is one of those guys that can turn it into a good win streak. You know, I mean, look at what he's done the last couple games. Tyler scored 24 points. I believe it's 6 threes. He's a guy, and you know I've been high on him. We went to the same high school. I'm close with him and his family. We know. Will went to the same high school as Tyler Harris as well. But I know his family really well. His brother Jeremy and Frank, his dad. Tyler is the type of kid. They put a basketball in hhis hand when he was very, very young, and they turned him into this shooter, right? 5'8" shooter. You put him on the floor, anywhere on the floor, he can shoot the basketball. That's his game. And that's the game that we have to play right now to be successful. The ball needs to be in his hands. I'm not saying it shouldn't be shared around. Of course, Amani, Jalen, those guys got to get their shots too. But Tyler Harris, he's the one with the hot hand, and you're going to have to ride that hot hand. And what would be more poetic at this moment than a kid who committed to Memphis, left, went to Iowa State, matured, came back home in a walk-on role, led you on a streak to go to the NCAA tournament? There's not much more poetic than that. I know you're going to have some fans be like, well, he left. Maybe he doesn't deserve this. He's too small. He's a liability on defense. I don't care if he's a liability on defense. See, what Penny did in the Tulsa game is what he should have done in the East Carolina game, where he subbed Tyler out on the last possession so he could get some good defenders in there. That's what should have happened in the ECU game. And I think Penny has learned from that mistake. It's not to say that Tyler's not a good defender. Yes, he's just a little bit shorter than the average guy that he's going to be defending. But to say he doesn't bring anything to the table would just be an ignorant statement. That kid has more heart than most people I know, and he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Listen, my seats at the basketball games aren't far from the away bench. When Tyler is on, I am screaming at the away team. You're getting lit up by a walk-on. Should he be a walk-on? No. But
no, he should.
He absolutely he's in that role right now. But coming into the season, you know, you had the local media people say, well, I don't see many minutes for a guy like Tyler Harris. I don't think he's going to play a whole lot. This team's just too deep. Tyler brings a whole different type of basketball knowledge to the floor. His IQ is immense. His skills are there. I mean, he's such a skilled player. I mean, watching the game on ESPN the other day, he got a fast break off of a steal, and the announcers are like, dunk it. And Tyler's smart enough to know, let's lay it in and get those 2 points. We need those 2 points. And what did we win by? 2 points. Those 2 points changed the game. And he, you know, when Tyler first got here, I think he got into he was at Cordova, and he was the type of kid that could literally take a shot like with 3 guys on him and hit it. The college game changes a little bit. I mean, your high school game doesn't really translate to that. Now you're in year 4 of Tyler Harris in college, being a college basketball player. He takes mature shots. He only shoots it when he's open. He doesn't rush anything. He plays as hard as he can. He's great with the ball in his hands. He doesn't turn it over a whole lot. He makes incredible passes. Hell, if Tyler Harris was 3 inches taller, he'd be a lottery pick in my eyes. And that's not to take anything away from that young man. That kid has worked his ass off to get to the point that he's at right now. Credit to him, his family, and I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, most definitely. This men's basketball team is I think we're growing. I think it's a learning. Literally, they're literally learning
Sorry,
from
I
each
know we
other.
were talking about the whole team, and I kind of went on a Tyler
No,
rant.
oh, you're good. I think Penny's learning on the fly, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think he's learning from his mistakes, as you just talked about. On the other side of the basketball slip for the Memphis Tigers, you've got the Lady Tigers, who are sitting at 11-5 right now. They've got a game tomorrow night. Will they got to go on the road to Tulsa and play a 12-3 Tulsa team? Right now, Will, they're sitting in seventh place in the American Athletic Conference. Um, they got Tulsa on the road, and they come home and play an 8-7 Temple team. I think both of these games will be big wins for this program because when they start February, it's a tough little stretch in the month of February for them.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. Yeah, I'm just actually looking over some of the women's bracketology on ESPN, just kind of see, what they've got in and all of that. It doesn't look like we show up anywhere, unfortunately. I mean, this team's not bad. They're seventh in the American, 11-5. I mean, I think they should go in and win that Tulsa game, and then I think they've got Temple coming back home on Saturday. They're not a bad team. They just some of their losses they've gotten blown out, and they've been by really good teams. And I think partly the reason why they're seventh in the American is some of these other schools in our conference have just had better matchups earlier in the season. So I don't know, man. I hope that they can. I hope that they can pull out these next two wins and just kind of improve their record. Maybe we can hopefully see them work their way onto the bubble, or maybe even into the bubble of the NCAA, women's NCAA tournament. So that would be great. That would be fun to see, especially Coach Merriweather. First season, and maybe see her make it into the women's NCAA.
I completely agree, man. When you look, and we've been saying it all season, when you look at her and this staff and the job they've done of getting not only the team to believe, but the city to believe. I mean, the more I watch El Marone Fieldhouse, the crowds seem to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger every game, and it's great to see. It really is because for a long time, men's basketball was the only basketball anybody cared about at the University of Memphis, and it's sad. It really is. But yeah, she's doing an amazing job. Like I said, they're sitting at 11-5 right now. Got a tough game tomorrow night against Tulsa. Hope that the Lady Tigers can get the W. You are listening to The Point. We are on 4 Star Sports Media Podcast. We are on Facebook and 4 Star Sports Media YouTube as well. The Point Facebook page and also at 4star.live. You're inside the Germantown Village Wine and Liquor Studio. For more, go by and see him, 7730 Poplar Avenue. Stephen Plunk will get you taken care of for sure. We thank him very much for our sponsorship and our friendship, for that matter. Guys, we've got some baseball around the corner. Well, no, we don't actually, because there is a lockout. Am I correct on that? So that means the Redbirds will not be playing baseball at the start of the season.
I'm not
right?
sure about minor league baseball. I think between the MLB and the MLB Players Association. I don't think it's between anything with the minor leagues. If you're on a roster, I think that's where the difference is. But don't quote me on this. I do think they still play.
Yeah.
Minor league baseball still plays.
Their website still shows 69 days and to count down to opening day. So I mean,
Cool.
looks like they're still anticipating opening up. Which I mean, I love going down there to watch games. That's one of my favorite places to go in the city.
Man, I tell you what, when it comes to AAA ballparks or ballparks around the nation for that matter, it doesn't get much better than AutoZone Park, in my opinion. The location is great. The atmosphere inside that stadium is just incredible. I love how they've got the outside of it set up. Everything about it is just classy and first class. Um, that Redbirds organization has done so much for the city of Memphis. It's insane, man. I'm really, really glad to see them still be in Memphis. And then, of course, you've got 901 FC that plays at that stadium, too. I think that'd be a great place for a concert venue. I mean,
They've
go see a concert.
they've done a few concerts there.
Yeah, I saw a Dave Matthews concert there one time, but I didn't make it the whole concert. But anyway, it's another story. It's another story for off camera. But yeah, man, it's AutoZone Park's a beautiful stadium, and the Redbirds are going to be fun this year as well. We will be covering them. Hopefully, we can get a little in with the Redbirds. That just clicked in my mind. I don't know why I hadn't reached out to them yet, but yeah, the Redbirds are going to be fun, guys. When you look at the city of Memphis, we say it every week. The city of Memphis, sports wise, it's a fun place to be. It really, really is. Will, when you look at the state of Memphis sports right now, what would you grade it?
Man, I don't see how you couldn't give it an A. I mean, at the very least, if you were wanting to be, grade hard, maybe a B plus. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say everything's going right, but I mean, a lot of things are going right. At least moving in the right direction. So I mean, I'll say B plus. I'll be conservative since I'm grading obviously as a homer.
Okay, Brandon, what about you, man?
I'd say B minus. I think my grading scale is a little bit more harsh than Will's. The Grizzlies have really balanced that grade out because of how good they've been. And then, like you said, the excitement for the Redbirds, and not only the Redbirds, Tiger baseball. I think we talked a little bit about them last week. Darren Schoenrock's final season as the head coach for the University of Memphis. And then, as you said, 901 FC coming off of their first ever playoff appearance coming into swing. And then you have the Memphis Americans down in South Haven playing indoor soccer. The Memphis Hustle are playing good basketball. Like, it's good to be a Memphis sports fan. Not everything is going, and I think because I hold my standards so high with the Tigers, my grading scale is a little bit lower, or excuse me, a little bit higher than everybody else's. But yeah, I'd say B minus right now. And once the Grizzlies complete this and get into the playoffs, and if the Tigers can turn this around, then I can give it an A plus or an A minus or whatever I want to give it, A teacher when I was in high school once told me that she would never give out a 100 because there's always room for improvement. And that's kind of the grading scale that I want to go on. And what'd you say?
That's a terrible.
I feel like we had that teacher, Will. Fifth grade. What was her name? Was it Buxton? Is that what's her name? Was that her name, Miss Buxton? I feel like she said that back.
I remember Buxton. Oh yeah,
I think
I wasn't a big fan.
No, I wasn't either. I had her 2 years in a row. Anyway, yeah, when you look at the city of Memphis, man, it's a fun place to be for sure.
Eddie was
guys. No, I couldn't stand her. Anyway, but guys, when you look at you done got me all thrown off now. When you look at the city of Memphis, man, it's a lot of fun. But 4-Star Sports Media will be back tomorrow night. We've got a very special guest coming up tomorrow night at 5:30. We haven't made an announcement on Facebook, so if you're listening right now, you'll hear this for the first time. We will be talking to Calvin Austin III from the University of Memphis football program, who will be at the Senior Bowl next week at 5:30 tomorrow night, right here on Facebook. Can't Catch Cal will be on tomorrow night with us, and then tomorrow night at 7 p.m. we will be back once again. West Pruitt will be back in the house to break down all of college basketball. And yes, I do watch college basketball. It will be on. We'll be on tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
I don't know who said last week that you don't know anything about
either.
college basketball, but
I don't either.
It's just whoever said that should be just held responsible and put to the nth degree of the law.
Okay.
I'm sorry that ever happened, and once we find out who did that, then we can get justice for Wes.
Yeah, we should.
We're gonna
do that anywhere.
We're gonna start a committee.
Since we were talking about it, we were talking about the Redbirds, and I know Brandon mentioned 901 FC too, which I've been to quite a few of their games. If you haven't been to one of those, they are awesome, awesome as well. Probably one of the best crowds you can sit in and enjoy. Just
cool.
how crazy they can be, but it's a lot of fun. Their season is actually starting a little bit earlier than the Redbirds. I know they just wrapped theirs up, but they start in 45 days. So
Wow. Okay,
a little
cool.
bit their opening day here for them, and home opener is the 12th of March. So that's
Sweet.
yeah.
Sweet. All right. Well, I'll be reaching out to them tomorrow as well. Yeah, when you look at 4-Star Sports Media, we got shows for you every week. We'll be back tomorrow night, 5:30 and 7 p.m. Kristen Johnson will be on Thursday night with the Hog Trough, and Razorback Zach will be back Friday night with Inside the Hog Pen. And once again, we will be live next week, Monday through Saturday, Brandon, from 8 to 10 a.m.
I'm so
right
excited.
here, 4star.live, and also everywhere we can be found. But for Brandon Bumgardner and Will Bass, I am Wes Pruitt. You've been listening to The Point on this Tuesday, January 25th edition, 2022. We are out. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Go Grizz. Go